Waiting notification. Boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have a magnificent guest with us today, one who is going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than Brother James A. out of Washington, D.C. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam, sir.
Yes, sir. This is an extreme honor to have you on the People's Podcast. And on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience, we would like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come have a conversation with us today, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'm honored to be on your program. I'm humbled to be on your program.
All praise due to Allah. Yes, sir. The honor is ours, sir. The first question that we have for you, Brother James, is when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Yes, sir. First, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there's no God but Allah in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the exalted Christ and Mahdi, and the Honorable Miss Louis Farrakhan is their divine reminder and the Messiah in our midst. I will formally greet everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, sir.
And I want to first say thank you to my family. Thank you to the laborers of Islam here in Washington, D.C., past and present. And to get straight to your question, I first heard of the minister in December 1986. I was 12 years old. My mother was, she had the remote control. She was just flipping the channels, just seeing what was on TV. And she paused, and there was this light-skinned man with glasses on, wearing a gray suit, white shirt, bow tie. And he was preaching. And she just said, Louis Farrakhan. And she paused. And something let me give you a backstory. Before I saw him, I was already, my father, or her second husband that she remarried, when we had just moved in with them after she had remarried, and we had moved, my sisters and I had moved to live with them a few months earlier. And my mother had taken us to the library to join a summer reading club. And I can remember a little handout, orange paper with black writing, with black authors on the handout. And my father suggested me to read the autobiography of Malcolm X, which is one of the books listed. And so it was around this time, July 1986. I was 11 years old. So I went and got the autobiography of Malcolm X from the library. And when I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, and he started teaching on Yaqub's history when he was in prison, and he said, what turned the light on in my head was when he said that the black man made the white man. That's when the light came on in my head. It was like a fog lifted up. And I was so excited. I told my mother, we know black people made white people. I was just excited. It was like,
yes, sir.
The fog lifted up. That was the first spark of light in my brain from the autobiography of Malcolm X. And as originally intended from the autobiography of Malcolm X, I gravitated to what he did in the Nation of Islam. I read the rest of the book just to see how the book ended, but I was specifically interested in what he did in the Nation of Islam, which was the original intention of that book. So a few months later, so it's just marinating in my mind, black people made white people. We're the original people, we're God's people. So it started coming up in my mind, I really want to be a Muslim. But I didn't know how the Nation of Islam was set up. I didn't know the nation had fallen, and I didn't know about the minister rebuilding. So it was just rolling around in my head. I wanted to be a Muslim. And so a week after that, that's when I first saw the minister, my mother's channel surfing, and she let me watch him. And something told me, this is the man. It was love at first sight. It was like a voice in my head telling me, this is the man you need to follow to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I believed and accepted everything he said. He was teaching the truth about Christmas. And he's telling us, Jesus was not born December 25th. Santa Claus ain't real. Brumalia, Saturnalia, it's a pagan holiday. So from that day forward, I didn't celebrate Christmas anymore.
Mm.
So my mother, she let me watch. It was a Friday night, and she let me watch. It was on for about an hour from 7 to 8. It was a Friday night from 7 to 8. She let me watch the rest of the program, and I learned that he would come on every Friday night on a public cable channel in Richmond. That's where I was living at the time.
Okay.
Friday night from 7 to 8, and Sunday nights from 6 to 7. So I started watching him every weekend. And I started to grow I was feeding from the minister directly. I would study his face. I would study how he said his words. I would just feed on him. And I stopped eating pork. This was December the 12th, 1986. That was the night I first saw the minister. That happens to also be the first night that the self-improvement study guide started, coincidentally, or maybe not coincidentally.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And a week later, I stopped eating pork. I was 12 years old. So for the last 37 years, maybe now, I have stopped eating pork. And then a month later, my father, let's give me a backstory to him. When he was a teenager, he was processing in Brooklyn, but he never got his ex, but he had the Messenger's books. So January 87, he brings me Message to the Black Man, his own copy of Message to the Black Man that he had way back from the 60s, one of the original Messages to the Black Man. When I first saw the picture of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I was shocked because I expected him to look like Moses in the Ten Commandments, long flowing hair, long beard, a robe with a staff in his hand. And I looked at the picture, I said, "Who is that?" And he said, "That's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad." I said, "That's Honorable Elijah Muhammad?" I accepted him, but he didn't look like how I thought he would look.
Yes, sir.
So I started reading Message to the Black Man, and that's when I said, I was reading the original man, that chapter, the original man. I told him, I am going to be a Muslim. It wasn't no want to be a Muslim. I said, I'm going to be a Muslim. I was 12 years old. I wanted to join up then, but they told me, no, wait till you're 18 and you can do what you want to do. So my parents were tolerant of me believing. They would let me watch the minister on television. So I appreciate their tolerance. That really gave me time to really marinate in the teachings. So from 12 to 18, in middle school and in high school, I was just whenever I heard the minister say something, I'll go to school, start teaching. Middle school, I remember in 8th grade, I spent the whole 8th grade telling everybody Jesus is Black. It's in the book of Revelations. God is Black. It's in the book of Daniel. And if it wasn't not for the Message to the Black Man, I would not have cared to read the Bible. It was the Message to the Black Man that made me interested in reading the Bible, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad shows in Message to the Black Man that from Genesis to Revelation, that the Black people of America, we are the true people of God. So I spent the summer 1987, I started reading the Bible, book of Isaiah, book of Jeremiah, all the different verses that when I read, whenever it said that God's people will be in bondage, but he would save them, I said, that's Black people. I can see Black people in the Bible from Genesis to Revelation because of Message to the Black Man. So I'm feeding from Message to the Black Man. And then showing from the Bible, I would get in debates in school. I would tell people, Jesus is Black, God is Black, it's in the Bible. I would bring my Bible to school. I would show them, here it is, in the Bible, right there. They would say, no, Jesus is white to white people. Jesus is brown to brown people. I would say, no, he's Black. It's right here. It's in the Bible, see? So I was a zealot. I was just so fired up. And my grades started to improve. I was an average student before I learned the teachings, but when I learned the teachings I accepted the discipline of striving to be a Muslim, even though my parents didn't let me join, they gave me enough latitude to practice. So they accepted that I stopped eating pork. And then when I learned how to eat to live a little bit after I read Message to the Black Man, I started practicing making bean soup on my own. My parents, they allowed me to experiment, you know, how to make the bean soup. And sometimes I would burn the toast, because, you know, the messenger teacher, you know, when we eat bread, we should make sure it's cooked well done. So sometimes I would burn the toast. Oh, there goes James again, burning up the toast. But I appreciate the tolerance of my parents and my family all together. But in school, I was starting to get, I was in the talented and gifted program because of the teachings. I was one of my English teachers. I gotta give credit where credit's due. She's a white English teacher. She saw how promising me, and I like to write. And so she suggested I join a summer writing camp for Black students. And so I would like to write poetry. I would like to write essays. Beautiful. And so I wrote a poem. It's like an honor of Langston Hughes, because Langston Hughes had a poem called I Too Sang America. I wrote a poem similarly, but it was different in that I said, I too am Africa. I wrote this poem and I wrote an essay explaining how I believed in the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. And at the end of the summer camp, they put all the writings of the students, various students, in a little booklet. And I was honored in that they chose my poem to be the title of the booklet. It was titled, I Too Am Africa and Other Selected Writings. Praise be to Allah. Go ahead, Brother James. Yes, sir. Well, that's the cut, but I give credit. I'm a Mr. Louis Farrakhan. He opened my eyes. He sparked that that desire in me to do better as a student. And so going into 8th grade, I was teaching Jesus is Black, God is Black. And I was just on fire. And then the spring of 1988, on PBS NewsHour, they had a program on the dope busters in Washington, D.C. And your father and Dr. Ali and the work of the dope busters, when they first went into Mayfair, I said, that's where I want to join the Nation of Islam. I want to go to Washington, D.C. I want to be a dope buster. So and I want to go to Howard University. So I had locked in. When I graduate from high school, I want to go to Howard University. And I want to join the Nation of Islam in D.C. and I want to be a dope buster. So I was set. That's where I'm going. I'm going to DC to join the nation. And so then going into the summer 1988, I got my little paperback Holy Quran, little from the I think a department store in the mall somewhere. And then I started reading the life of Prophet Muhammad, and when I read the life of Prophet Muhammad, I would see the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the action of Prophet Muhammad. That's how I visualized it in my head. And so I'm going into high school. This is 1988. And this is the height. This is like, this is when hip hop was at its height, classic hip hop, conscious hip hop. This is when Public Enemy was out. Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, Lakeem Shabazz, Brand Nubian. Conscious hip hop. I was listening to that at that time. So whenever I hear Public Enemy, it just brings back memories when I was in high school. Whenever I hear KRS-One, My Philosophy, I was all into that in high school. Yes, so I was steady preaching. Black man is God. We are God's people. Whoever I could tell this high school, I was telling them. And then at that time, the television program stopped, but I started hearing the minister on the radio on Sunday mornings from 11, I think, to 12, WANT-AM. It's like a Black AM station. And this was around the time when the minister dedicated Mosque Mariam. So I hear on the radio that the minister is going to have a Mother's Day program, the first satellite broadcast of the Nation of Islam. And the title of it was, why did Minister Farrakhan name the National Center after the mother of Jesus? This is my first Nation of Islam meeting. My parents let me go, Mother's Day, 1989. and on the radio, they gave an address of where to go to pick up your ticket. So it is a bookstore in downtown Richmond that the captain of the mosque in Richmond ran. So when I got the address and I found out where to go, that's where I started hanging out. After the Mother's Day program, on Saturday afternoons, I would ask my mother, would she let me go? And she would let me go. And I would just hang out at the captain's bookstore. I get bean pies, tapes, get the Final Call newspaper. And he would have a television screen up against the window of his store so people could watch the minister and hear the minister. He would be blasting the minister down the street.
Yes, sir.
So anybody could just walk up and just watch the minister Saturday afternoon. That's how I started spending my Saturday afternoon. And at the same time, I was teaching myself how to make salat. I was teaching myself basic Arabic, just so I could understand what I'm reading. And then, so this is my sophomore year in high school, and I'm just steady feeding on the teaching and spreading the teaching among everybody in my high school. And whenever I got a book, I became my own person. I would have a big, almost like a suitcase, and I walk around, just give books I would give 100 amazing facts about the Negro. I found the brother in the class who was considered like the dumbest brother in class. I would give him the book. I say, brother, here, read this. You're black. You'll be proud that you're black. You're one of the chosen people. Read this. That's how I would have a little personal library system. When I felt the brother needed to get some teaching, I give him one of the messenger books. I give him a Final Call. I give him 100 Amazing Facts, or I give him African Origin of Civilization. I didn't complain about what the school did not have. I would just go get the book myself. Here you go, brother, take it. And so that was what I was doing 9th grade, 10th grade. Then in my junior year, I started an informal study group. I would all I would do is in the morning time from 8 to 8:30, as students would come to class or come to school rather, I would sit outside the main cafeteria on a bench. And as the buses were dropping off the students, I would just have the books or the ministers or the Final Call, and I would just sit and just read. And out of curiosity, people would come and ask me, what you're reading. And that's how I started the discussion. And so after a while, it became a regular thing. I would have at least 5 to 10 people on a regular. We would just come and talk about the news. And at that time, it was, this is 1990, just before the first Gulf War.
Yes, sir.
We would talk about the teachings. We would talk about, the build up to the Gulf War. And it just became a regular thing between 8 o'clock and 8:30. Everybody who wanted to talk about, consciousness and Black folk in the news, come and talk with me on the bench. So that's what I was doing from my junior year, my senior year. And I'm steady doing better in school. So by my junior year, I'm looking at AP courses, AP history. I'm taking, in my senior year, I took AP calculus.
Go ahead, brother.
We had 4 people in the calculus class. In the whole school, it was 3 white boys and me taking calculus. That was a calculus class in my senior year. But it's all because of the teachings. All because of the teachings. So by the time I'm in my senior year, I've got the study group going on, informal. It is under the radar, but it's sort of it was informal enough that the school administration couldn't bother me because I just say, we just talking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Soon as the bell rang, we dispersed. So my senior year, I'm getting offers from all different colleges all over the country, but I still have my heart for Howard University. After a while, Howard sent me an offer for a full ride scholarship to go into the School of Business. And so as the senior year is going out, I was the second in class, all again because of the teachings, Mr. Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad. And the principal, normally at that time, the valedictorian was the only one allowed to speak. But they permitted me as the salutatorian, which is the second person, to make my own speech as well.
Go ahead, Bro James. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
And the basis of my speech was the famous quote from Elijah Muhammad: "History is best qualified to reward our research."
That's right.
And I said outright, the messenger Elijah Muhammad says history is, a lot of people give credit to Malcolm for that, but it's really, we know it's from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
That's right. That's right.
I gave the full quote, give the honorable Elijah Muhammad credit. I was wearing my bow tie and under my uniform. So that was a highlight of my high school years, to be able to teach the people on the basis of the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, straight from his words, and giving him the credit in front of everybody who was graduating. And their mama, their father, everybody's there. They had to hear the teachings that day. So fast forward, so I was accepted at Howard School of Business. So the first day, this is where the Howard University Campus Mosque, that I feel is a hidden history, comes in. When I first went to Howard and I got my room straight, got my classes straight, and I saw a brother in a suit and bow tie in front of the Blackburn Center, which is the conference. Those of us who know Howard, the Blackburn Center, that's where the conferences are, that's where the cafeteria is. And I think he was out front next to that big water fountain that's out in front of the Blackburn Center. And I asked him what's going on inside. And he said, we're having a meeting. And this is where I found out about the Howard University Campus Mosque. This was originally set up by Dr. Aline. I don't know the history of when it was set up and how, but by the time I got there, they had a room off in the back, the Blackburn Center Forum. And this is where they met every day, every Sunday, from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock for all college students who wanted to hear the teachings. Howard University Campus Mosque, at that time, the minister was Brother Michael, and his assistant was Brother Reginald. The brother in charge was Brother Severlin, and the sister in charge, I think Sister Beatrice. So I go to the meeting after I give my hugs and kisses to my mother, my relatives. They've gone back home. So I go to the meeting, and I've been waiting 6 years to do this. I was 12 when I first heard the teachings. Now I'm able to do it. I'm almost 18. So 6 years, the day of truth has come. I hear the teachings, I accept, and I was given my Savior letter right then as soon as I accepted. And the instructions for the Savior letter from Brother Vernon. And I'm thankful for Brother Vernon for giving me that Savior letter. He also gave me my general orders. So I'm thankful for Brother Vernon. That night, I started practicing writing my Savior letter. And at that time, brother, when you were processing, it was OJT. They didn't wait for you to get your ex to start soldiering. I got my papers a couple of weeks after that. So I remember it was Labor Day weekend. That was my first time selling the Final Call newspaper. And the title of it was Murder in Mississippi. And it was dealing with our young brother, I'm forgetting his name. But that's when the minister, a little over a year, about a year later, that's when he called for Allah to chastise Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
Because of that brother who was on the front of the paper, then Brother Charles X. Quinn, his son. So that was my first time selling the Final Call. And fast forward, I'm soldiering and processing. I'm practicing writing my letter. I'm at Howard. So after a few months, I have a 4-hour scholarship. My room and board's taken care of, meals taken care of. But I need some spending money, straight up. So I go downtown to formally apply to work for NOI Security, which was the headquarters then was on 1444 I Street. So I fill out the application, and Brother Captain Tim, he was the captain at that time, As soon as I filled out the application, he took me straight to the site over in Parkside Terrace. That's where it's over in Mississippi Avenue Southeast. And that's why I started. We were it was like a weekend. He just sent me there just to get my feel of working on the site. But the main site I worked at is Clifton Terrace on 13th and Clifton. And it was really convenient for me because Clifton Terrace is maybe 7 blocks from Howard. So what I would do, I started working the graveyard shift because that was most convenient for me. Every other day I would work the graveyard shift. And what I would do is I would finish up my classes for the day, go to the dorm, wash up, maybe rest for a little bit. Then I'll go to the site. And as soon as I would finish working on the site, I could just walk back to Howard. It was just that close. So this is the spring of 1993. So I'm getting used to working on the site up on Clifton, getting used to the regular rhythm of working on the site. And I'm still processing them. And then I think on my third try, writing my savior's letter, it was accepted. And of all days, the date of the acceptance letter was May 11th, 1993, the minister's birth anniversary. And somebody stole that notebook, so I don't have it with me, but I hope the processing department still has a copy of it somewhere. But the acceptance letter was dated on the minister's 60th birthday. I like, praise be to Allah. So, of course, it says, your letter has been accepted. We pray Allah has accepted it here. Memorize your student enrollment and your actual facts and go recite. So a year to the day that I graduated from high school, June 7th, 1992, I recited to Brother Tim. We had been at the June 7th, 1993. And I can remember we had been in the Benning Road Rec Center. And he said, I let him know before class, I'm ready to recite. So he said, after class, we can do it. So I knocked it out first try. So I'm in. After 6 years now, I'm at Howard, I'm a dope buster, and I'm registered.
Go ahead, Brother James, go ahead.
My dreams been fulfilled. So, and then a couple of days later, the site coordinator at Clifton Terrace, he taps me to be the shift supervisor, which means I'm in charge of everybody on the shift during the time that I'm working. I'm the youngest brother there. I'm 18 years old. Everybody else is older than me, but he trusted me to be the shift supervisor. So, so summer '93, I'm pushing the program, working on the site. I'm in the mosque. I'm just having fun, soldiering, doing the work. So going into the fall semester of 1993, we're still the Howard University campus, Mom. I want to get back to that. So we're having our meetings 11 to 1. And then at the end of the meeting, we would go to Mosque number 4, which was then at 1615 Kenilworth Avenue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's the classic, that was the heyday.
Yes,
1615. So I'm working at Clifton Terrace, shift supervisor. I'm going to Howard. I'm in the campus mosque. I'm just maxing out. I'm just rolling. But then I noticed in the fall semester of 1993, this is my sophomore year, my grades started suffering because I really wasn't taking time to rest. I would go straight from the site to class. And I started, I would be falling asleep in class. I said, I need to adjust some things. So out of concern that I would not let my grades slip or lose that scholarship. I didn't want to lose that full ride scholarship. Just straight up.
Yes, sir.
So I told Brother Daryl, Brother Daryl, D.I. Daryl.
Of course, yes, sir.
He was the first officer at the time. Said, I really want to work here, but I don't want my grades to suffer. So he let me go. But we still patrolling the site. You don't have to literally work for NOI security to be on the patrol. This is the FOI. You can always check on the site. So I took that spirit. So I'm working, get my grades back up. Now we're going into early 1994. This is when the controversy with Brother Khalid came about, and the minister was on the front of Time magazine, and the Jews were just attacking us it seemed like every day they were attacking the Nation of Islam and the minister. And this is where the campus mosque, the history of the campus mosque, I feel, is a hidden history, and it needs to be emphasized. At Howard University, Brother Khalid came a month after Savior's Day, and he had a rally, and the Washington Post wrote an editorial about it, and they called it Nuremberg at Howard University. And those of us who know history, Nuremberg is a city in Germany. That's where the Nazis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we're basically saying that Howard University is supporting, they're calling us Nazis. And then it got so tough, they started calling Howard University the anti-Semitic university.
Mm.
They were blaming the Muslims on campus. Now, at that time, Brother Khalid had been relieved as an official representative of the minister, but he was still speaking. And then there was a program Connie Chung did called Eye to Eye with Connie Chung. And they were basically going after us on campus. Brother Khalid was speaking, but they were blaming us, the Muslims on campus, for this so-called quote unquote anti-Semitism at Howard University. And then it got so tough, pressure was put on the board of trustees at Howard to force the president, his name was Franklin Jennifer, you can look it up. The president of Howard University was forced to resign.
Mm.
That's part of that hidden history. And we were blamed for it, the Howard University, the Muslim on campus. So Brother Michael and Brother Reginald, this is another part of the history that I think needs to be mentioned. The Howard University campus mosque was so influential. On Friday afternoon, between 12 and 1, as you're going to lunch or going out of lunch, Brother Reginald, I can remember him having a bullhorn in front of the Blackburn Center, teaching hard. So as you're going to lunch or leaving out of lunch, you're going to hear the teachings of Elijah Muhammad from Mr. Farrakhan. That's part of the hidden history of the Howard University campus mosque. Fridays from 12 to 1 on a bullhorn, just teaching. So that's part of the hidden history, Howard University campus mosque. And then another part is Brother Michael had gotten with the African Student Association to coordinate a pushback against the so-called Jews who are calling us anti-Semitic. And the slogan was, hands off Farrakhan, stop the attack. We know the ADL is anti-Black.
Mm.
That was the slogan. And we planned a march from the Howard University campus to the B'nai B'rith headquarters, which is on 17th and Connecticut Northwest. We literally marched, chanting hands off Farrakhan, stop the attack. We know the ADL is anti-Black. And we were chanting and marching all the way to the B'nai B'rith. And by the grace of Allah, there was no altercation, but they just looked at us out the windows. We could tell, there was this high-rise building, they was just looking at us out the windows. And we were chanting them, hands off Farrakhan, stop the attack. We know the ADL is anti-Black.
Praise be to Allah.
That's part of that hidden history. So that's the spring of 1994. And then as a semester ended, Mosque number 4, the leadership wanted the college squad to come back closer to the mosque. They felt that we were somewhat overextending ourselves. So the college squad during the summer, we were reorientated to the mosque, and we got a new lieutenant. No nonsense, Brother George Muhammad. This is when I want to give Brother George credit. He really taught me the nuts and bolts of being a squad leader, of pushing the program, the sales and distribution of the final call.
Yes, sir.
And he really, I was like Jonah. I didn't want to be a squad leader. And the way he got me was, he said, just hold the post till I get somebody else. And so I said, all right, I can go with that. But even though he got somebody else, he still held me on the post. But I'm thankful to him for that. Because I got to learn the nuts and bolts of soldiering a little bit more than before. So the summer 1994, I'm pushing the program, going hard with the papers and the pies, having fun. And then this is another milestone I think is hitting. August 1994, going into September, we get word that the minister wants to have a telephone hookup with all the FOI in the nation. Back before webcast, back before Zoom, we just had a telephone hookup, national telephone hookup, Monday, Labor Day, 12 o'clock. And what stood out for me is that the minister said, I'm paraphrasing, as we strive to catch up to the legendary Muhammad Speaks newspaper, he wants to thank all the FOI for reaching the milestone of 500,000 final call newspapers. That's the highest we had gone since he had stood up to rebuild the nation.
Praise be to Allah.
August 1994, the milestone, 500,000 final calls in one issue.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So I'm going into, this is now the fall of 1994, and want to go back a little bit to the campus mosque. After Franklin Jennifer was forced to resign, an interim president was brought in. And this is where I feel, this personal observation, that Howard University was ground zero for banning the minister and the nation from college campuses. Because when this interim president was brought in, I'm not going to say her name because she's a prominent civil rights pioneer back in the 60s. When this interim president was brought in, it was a blanket censorship for all outside speakers. Nobody could come to speak at Howard University for any reason. Of course, you know, we felt we were the ones that was mainly the reason it was being done, but they made a blanket censorship so they couldn't say they were singling out the nation. That's another part of their hidden history that I feel should be brought up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so this is fall of 94. I'm still soldiering, going hard, pushing the program. And this is another point of going hard, and maybe I may overextend myself. I can remember it was midterm exams. I had 3 midterm exams, and I took 4 bundles of the final call. And I said, I'm going to push hard this week. I'm going to do my exams and I'm going to soldier. And I can distinctly remember it was the first International Savings Day that the minister held in Ghana. And it's a yellow background. The minister shaking hands with President Jerry John Rawlings. May Allah be pleased with him. And above them is the old masthead of Muhammad Speaks, with the brother from the East shaking hands with brother from the West.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I'm pushing hard. 4 bundles. Same week, I got 3 midterms. And so I got an A on one, got B on the second, and I got C on the third. So by grace of Allah, I got through it. But
that's excellent.
by the grace of Allah, I got through it. So then fast forward a couple of months later, Brother George becomes a paper captain, and I automatically become a lieutenant. Back then, there was no question that, you automatically lieutenant. You just it's on, just roll with it. And I felt like, I just said I'm going to do it as much as I can. I didn't really feel worthy of it, but I ran with it for a couple of months. And this is going into 1995, early 1995. The minister is really gearing up to push for the Million Man March. And we get a new captain, and he comes to me. He really let me down easy. He says, maybe you would do better in the secretary department. And just maybe a week or so earlier, this is how I feel Allah had arranged it. Brother Derrickson, our great regional secretary. I think you were interviewing him a few years ago.
Yes, sir.
Brother Derrickson, great brother. He's a brother to me, a mentor, a benefactor to me, and so many others. Just want to give a shout out to Brother Derrickson. And he had asked me, I was a lieutenant. I was making sure everybody had left, at the end of the meeting, the mosque was secure. Everybody was gone and making sure cleaning up and all of that. And he happened to still be there. And he asked me, about my education, what I was doing. I told him I'm in the School of Business. And he asked me, would I help him? And so after the captain told me, maybe you would be better than the secretary of the department, I said, well, maybe this is what Allah has for me. So I went to Brother Derrickson. This is April of 95. And I started learning the nuts and bolts of being in the secretary of the department.
Mm.
So now this is when the big trial comes in. The minister's birthday.
Brother James, wait 1 second. Brother James, 1 second.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I just want a quick pause real quick because we'll stay right there on the trial. But you ain't let me get to ask a question yet. I just want to show you the love of all the people in the comments so that, that we staying right there with the trial on minister's birthday.
Yes, sir.
Thank everyone who continues to like, share, subscribe to the People's Podcast. Brother Nelson Ramos, Assalamualaikum, beautiful family, people of God, walaikum salam. My sister Miriam, Assalamualaikum, walaikum salam. Sister Naima, walaikum salam. Brother Kiam Shabazz, me and this brother worked together there when NOI security was up and running. This brother has been soldiering for a long time. He was a college student. Beautiful. Brother Barrington X Shabazz, my beautiful brother, James Muhammad, my number 4 soldier. All right. Thank you, everyone who continues to like, share, subscribe to People's Podcast. Right back to our brother, Brother James A., the trial. What's on Mrs. Farrakhan's birthday?
So this is how, it's just so amazing how when I reflect on how Allah arranged it. I had just finished taking my last exam for the year and for the semester. That morning, May 11th, 1995, and Brother Vernon, same brother that gave me my savior letter when I first came in, he tells me there's a code red at Potomac Gardens, which is a public housing place that NOI Security had just, we had just been there that previous Monday for FOI class. This is a week after the minister had the reconciliation with Betty Shabazz at the Apollo Theater. This is that following week. So we're in the afterglow of that reconciliation. So we get a code red, something happened to one of the brothers on the site. So of course, everybody goes to Potomac Gardens. So after we handled the business that we had to handle, when the dust is settling, on the radio, we hear that Brother Yahya is in one of the buildings by himself. And we need some brothers to go check on him, make sure he's all right. Now, those of y'all from DC, y'all know Brother Yahya was a pioneer. Yahya Saladin, may Allah be pleased with him.
Yeah, please.
When you came to the mosque, he would be on check post, helping to check. He did not make his age an excuse. He would come to visit us on the sites in the middle of the night. Here come Brother Yahya, just acting, making sure y'all all right. He did not make his age an excuse. So may Allah forever be pleased with Brother Yahya. So
yes, sir.
Me and a lost found brother who happened to work for NOI, we go with a radio to check on Brother Yahya. And he's in the building. Let me describe the building. When you first walk in the lobby area, there's a wall with mailboxes for everybody in that particular building. Then there might be 15 feet of open area. And then there's a counter or a desk and where somebody can sit behind the counter. So we and the brother, we see Brother Yahya, he's all right. And then one of the brothers from the neighborhood, he pokes his head in the door. He says, "What's up or what's happening?" And I said, "Ain't nothing happening, brother. Go about your business." And I told the brother, something ain't feel right. I think you need to call on the radio and get some other brothers to come over here with us. And this is where things starting to happen like in slow motion. A few minutes later, about, I would say no less than 7, no more than 10 who may have been outside the door of lost found brothers come in and they line up across the mailbox. And I can remember distinctly the brother who seemed to be the leader. He reminded me of Fat Albert, I'll be honest. None of them say anything. They just line up along the mailbox on the wall. And he goes into his belt the same way a man would do when he's about to pull out a gun. And this is where I had to say, fear came up in my heart. I said, he's about to pull out a gun. But then it's like another voice came in my head and said, you need to get to his hand before he pulls the gun out. I'm not being spooky, but it was like a voice telling me to do that. So I had nowhere to hide. I went straight to him. I wanted to get to his hand before he pulled his hand out. And instead of pulling out a gun, he pulled out what looked like a policeman's billy club. And I was like, huh? But I'm still going straight to him though. And as Allah is my witness, when they saw me go to them, all of them jumped back with fear. I can see fear in their eyes, all of them.
Wow.
All of them lined up along the mailbox. And I'm not going to say I did any fancy martial arts. I just started swinging. I said, I'm going to keep swinging until I die or until they get off of me. So they surrounded me. We just rolling. I'm just ducking and swinging. And then after a few minutes, I hear some glass break. And all of a sudden, they all start running. It's like they just all ran out the door. So I'm standing there. I'm glad they ran. But I'm looking at my shirt and I noticed there's blood on my shirt. And this is sort of funny. I said, man, somebody got their blood on my shirt. I said, man, I saw the spot start growing. I said, that's my blood. And that's when I realized somebody had stabbed me in the middle of the rumble. And I started feeling faint. So I laid up on the counter and I started, my vision started getting fuzzy. And this purple haze started coming in from the edge of my eyes. Like it was start eating up my vision. I started shaking my head because I was trying to keep my eyes clear. And my hearing started going. It's like you turn it down a television set real slow, the volume. And as I was shaking my head, I started saying the opening prayer. I said, I'm about to die. But I started saying, surely I'm being turned, striving to be upright. To him originated the heavens and the earth. I'm not of the politics. Surely my sacrifice, my life and my death is all for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. No associate has either of my commanded.
Yes, sir.
I was shaking my head. I was trying to keep my eyes open. So I said it a second time, but my vision is going. My hearing is going. And this is I can't make this up. When I got to the third time saying that prayer, my vision is gone, my hearing is gone, but I feel an oxygen mask on my face. And I feel myself being put on a stretcher. Somebody called, I think the brother with the radio, I think he had called the ambulance. So I'm being carried on the stretcher to DC General. They put me in ambulance, they take me to DC General. And what I found out a little bit later is it's almost like a third nipple right here. The doctor told me they were aiming for your heart, but they got your left lung. So my left lung had collapsed. Mm. And so I'm on a hospital bed with this big contraption on my chest helping me. They had stuck an incision in the side to put a tube in there so they can reinflate my lung. So I'm laying in the hospital bed at DC General and I'm watching the TV. And I think it was Fox 5 News. And by the way, but Yahya, I saw him in the hospital. He's walking down the hallway just fine. I said, pray be Allah. He was fine because they took him to the hospital too. So I felt I served my purpose, but my purpose was to protect him. So he's fine. He's walking down the hallway. But I'm looking at the news and somebody had a camera. I'm watching myself on the news being carried out on a stretcher, and they say my slave name on the news. I've always wondered, how did somebody know to have a camera there when I was carried? That's always been, like I was wondering about how they know to be there. So I'm watching myself on the television screen as I'm laying in the hospital. I can't see my face, but I know it's me because I recognize my suit.
Yes, sir.
My name on Fox 5 News, I think it was. And then it's in the Washington Times, I think the next day. It was in the Final Call. That's one issue of the Final Call I can't find where it happened. I strive to keep a copy of every Final Call that comes out. That's the one I can't find, the one that I'm in. But praise be the Lord. So I'm recuperating, and my mother comes up, my family comes up. Of course, she's concerned, and she takes me home back to Richmond to recuperate. And while I'm there, I spent about 6 weeks. This is the minister's birthday now. I'm getting stabbed and I came back to life on the minister's birthday by the grace of Allah. They gave me a little contraption to blow on to like get used to keep my lung, to like practice reinflating my lung. And after a couple of months, I can breathe fine now.
Praise be to Allah. Go ahead, Brother James.
But like it didn't even happen. And so I'm at home. This is my first time really resting since I've been registered. I'm sitting in the backyard, just watching the trees and the grass and just reading and relaxing as I recuperate. And I get a letter from the DC Public Housing Authority apologizing to me for what happened at Potomac Gardens, because that's their property. And I want to give a shout out to Brother Al Najm, also known as Brother Dion, because he called me just to check up on me. That's Brother Troy's brother. Troy the
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm familiar with Brother Al Najm.
Right. He called me. He called me, just check on me. I said, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I want to let him know I am coming back. I'm just, relaxing and recuperating. So around early June, mid-June, my father asked me straight up, what you going to do? I said, I'm going back. I want to help, because it's time to push for the Million Man March. I want to help push for the Million Man March. So it's the first day of summer. I come back, and my great aunt and great uncle, may Allah be pleased with them. I stayed, in fact, it's in this house. This is their house I'm in, that I'm living in now. They're going on, but they let me stay here every summer in between classes when I was at Howard. So I came back, stayed here. And it's the first day of summer, June 21st. I come to the mosque. It's a Wednesday night. And your father was there. He was meeting with the laborers to prepare for the Million Man March. And somebody, I forget who it was, somebody introduced me to him. And he shook my hand. He said, on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, thank you for your service.
Yes, sir.
So I want to give a shout out to your father. Thank you so much, sir. I'm honored to be able to be in this service. So I'm back at the mosque. I'm helping the Secretary of the Department. I'm soldiering. And this is another part of the Million Man March history that I don't know if it's been mentioned. We had little sign-in sheets. Even if you didn't have the $10 registration fee, we had sign-in sheets. You give your name, your address, your phone number, and you can give $1. Each one of us, FYI, we give like a sign-in sheet with like 20 spots. And we just go out, ask people, give $1. You don't have $10, give $1 for the Million Man March. And at that time, 145 Kennedy Street, that was like mosque number 4B. There as much. That's the Million Man March headquarters.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We were there as much as we were at the mosque. I can remember helping out with putting the mail together with the bumper sticker. I'm one of the million that we would mail out. The buttons. I'm one of the million. The information packet, and we had a little phone bank where people would call in from all over the country, and you could give them information, what to do, how to get to DC, all of that. So this is summer 1995, and soldiering, push the program, Million Man March. On the eve of the Million Man March, this is the Sunday, the day before. Everybody's coming, various ministers are coming to the mosque. It's like a little pep rally at the mosque. And then after the meeting is over, the phone is ringing off the hook And where the secretary apartment is where the phone is. So I'm sitting there after handling my secretary business. I'm basically a dispatcher telling people from all over the country where they need to go, what they need to do. And we had a rally, I think, at the DC Convention Center. So I was telling everybody, go to the convention center. And people from all over the country calling in, wanting to know what to do, where to go. And then the Leotis fleet comes. Those are the tractor trailer trucks. The minister had just bought these trucks, the trucks that we use to distribute the final call across the country.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They come to the mosque with stacks of cardboard boxes. These are the cardboard boxes for the charity drive on the mall. So we're steady. We had a little chain going. All the brothers in FY, we steady passing the boxes from the truck to the mosque. So the whole sanctuary is full of brothers putting boxes together. We just spend all the evening. I'm answering the phone, telling people where to go. Brothers putting the charity boxes together. So after a while, we put all the charity boxes together and we put them back on the trucks to take them down to the mall. And as the trucks pull off, we all saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Now this time it's about maybe 11 o'clock. I asked Brother Darius, let me go meet my father because my father's coming up for the Million Man March and he's spending the night here at this house. So I wanted to go see my father real quick. So I get on the metro, which is a subway here. I go talk to him for maybe a half hour, let him know where to go, what to do. Then I go to my dorm. So I just need to get a few hours of sleep, just about midnight. So I lay down for a little bit. And then I got up about 5 o'clock. And where my dorm is on campus, I could literally walk straight to the mall because it's I think it's New Jersey Avenue. I take New Jersey Avenue, just go straight down from Slow Hall to the mall. And this is when it really hit me that the Million Man March was going to happen. It's pitch black outside. And as I walk up to where the Capitol is, I see FOI and the FOI uniforms in ranks on the Capitol steps.
Yes, sir.
When I saw that, I said, this is on. It's really going to happen. FOI rank, they were the marshals that they had the red armband on the uniforms to help with crowd control. When I saw them in ranks on the Capitol steps, the U.S. Capitol,
yes,
FOI
sir,
on the Capitol steps, I said, this is really going to happen. That's when it really hit me. We're going to make this thing happen. And so then I found Brother Derrickson. He assigned me to be with the vendor in the vending area. And when you see a picture of the Million Man March, when you see those trees on the side,
yes, sir,
I would say it's probably another several thousand, probably 100,000 people under those trees that you can't see. All along Constitution Avenue. That Constitution Avenue was packed from the Capitol all the way down as far as you could go. So I was set up with Brother Scotty, another shout out, Brother Scotty, great long-serving assistant minister here in DC. I was with him with the tape connection, with your father set up, with a little booth for the tape connection. And I was assigned to help with the university, selling a little paraphernalia for university.
Praise be to Allah.
So as the day goes on, you can tell the crowd is getting bigger and bigger. The street is just packed. Brothers is steady coming down the street to the mall. And then out of all the millions of people, or nearly 2 million, my father found me. And so I asked Brother Scott, let me go spend some time with my father. And we tried to get as close to the front as we could. But after a certain amount of time, you just met a wall of brothers. You couldn't go no further. It was packed. And I can remember the fraternity brothers, all the different fraternities, they were all together in the same area. It was just packed. You couldn't go, there's a certain point you couldn't go no further. It was just a wall of brothers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we're walking back to where Brother Scotty was. And then I asked Brother Scotty, let me go just mingle in the crowd for a little bit. And that's when the charity drive took place that your uncle, Brother Jamil, ran. And I can remember the dollar wave. We were all waving our dollars. And the brother next to me said, they ain't go, the white folks ain't go like this. Because we all waving our dollars. This is the biggest green wave in history.
Yes, right.
we passing that. We passing the charity boxes in that area. So I was determined that I was not gonna go back. I apologize, but Scotty, if I stay a little bit too long. I was not gonna go back until I saw the minister come out to speak. And I said, when he comes out to speak, then I'll go back to my assignment. And
Yes, sir.
I'm standing in the crowd. Stevie Wonder was singing. The young sister that did the poem, I remember her reading her poem. Maya Angelou. And then when it came to Brother Ben Chavis and Brother Mustafa, I was like, it's about to get on. And the brothers in the crowd was saying, we want Farrakhan. Every time somebody else would come up, they would say, man, we want Farrakhan. We want Farrakhan. We want Farrakhan. We started saying Farrakhan, 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 Farrakhan. And this is when, as Brother Student Supreme Captain Mustafa was speaking, the Jumbotron showed the minister coming down the Capitol steps. And when I saw that, I got a tingling down my spine. I said, ooh, the minister coming out the Capitol. I said, I was like fired up, like, ooh, man, that's powerful. He coming out the Capitol steps. Farrakhan was in charge that day, brother.
Allahu Akbar.
Farrakhan was in charge. That was Farrakhan's day. So after the minister gave the greetings and opened up, I said, well, all right, I'm gonna go back to the vending area. And then I listened to the rest of this, what he said on the radio with Brother Scotty. And later on that evening, this is another hidden history. It took us 3 days to count that money for the Secretary of the Department. Oh man, we spent 3 days counting that money. That's another part of the history. I told brothers, I'm gonna have to go. I got class to go to, but it took 3 days to count that money. So this is 1995, we're in the Afterglow, the Million Man March, and I'm wrapping up my senior year at Howard. And then this is Brother Arf was the minister at that time. I showed him my course load. I had 24 credits. For some reason, I had to take an extra class. Like that. So I asked him, how can I be in the mosque and handle this? He told me, take a leave of absence, come to the mosque when you can. And he said, this is what your father told him to do when he was getting his law degree. So praise be to Allah. So I would come to the mosque like once a month while I was studying to finish up my classes. And this is the beauty again. A year to the day I was stabbed, May 11, 1995, I graduated from Howard University, May 11, 1996. So praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Go ahead, Brother James.
So,
hey, Brother James,
yes, sir.
I was letting people showing you love all across the country. Brother Yahya used to say he was going to be going with Captain Sharif, or let's get, thank you, Brother Kiam. My sister's name says, praise be to Allah. Excellent. Brother James, we have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast, and we're coming right back to you. Please let us know what city you all are watching from. We can't wait to put this on YouTube.
Praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir. One moment. We're grateful for every like, share, subscription, as well as anonymous Cash App to the People's Podcast.
A camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out to him if you need any of those services. Sister Miriam's ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, and now Spanish book. All three available on Amazon.com. Sister Naima's Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country, right here in the studios of Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Kenneth's Bow Tie Maker Extraordinaire. He'll ship you bow ties anywhere across the nation. Dr. Henry Carter's King Henry Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad's COVID-19 Disinfected Cleaning Services, out of Chicago. Student Minister Sharif Muhammad's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, available on AdulSharif.com. And lastly, Brother Joshua Muhammad's book, Cleopatra, as well as No Father, No Excuse, both available on Amazon. If you would like to donate or
Thank you, everyone who's watching. All right, we're right back to our brother James. Brother James, I had a cool question for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, are you a part of the ministry class?
No, sir. I'm the secretary of the department. The ministry.
Okay, secretary, yes, sir. You can teach, Brother James. You can teach, yes, sir. You can teach. Okay, so we have a question. First of all, can we have your parents' names? Speak about your mother and your father. Maybe you have their names.
Yes, sir. My mother's Delma, and my father, my biological father. My name is James. My slave name is James Baldwin Jr., like the author.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The fire next time.
And my second father, the man that really responsible for me in being in the nation, because he gave me those books, is Richard. And so I want to thank them. I thank all my family. Thank my mother for bringing me into the world and being tolerant with me as I grew up. Always give thanks to my mother. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Not like your mom's, for sure.
Right.
Yes, sir. Okay, so Brother James, what I wanted to ask you is, what has been your greatest joy in life?
The teachings.
Mm.
When I like I said, for as long as I've been under the minister, it's just a joy to be able to be joyful in being a Black man. He gave me the reason to be joyful to be a Black man. There's so many reasons this world gives us from all different angles, all different ways to make us feel ashamed. But because of Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the teaching of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, it's the joy in being a Black man. I have a reason to be joyful to be a Black man.
Teaching, Brother James.
One of God's chosen people. It's just the joy of knowing that I'm one of his chosen. Just got to keep striving to be an example. He wants us to be an example for all other nations to follow. So that's my joy, just being a Black man, knowing that God chose us. I'm one of his chosen people. And I want to spread, since I was a little boy, telling everybody I could tell, we are the chosen people. That's my joy.
Yes, sir, Brother James. And Sister Colleen says, Assalamu alaikum, family. Walaikum salam, ma'am. She's watching from California, and we can't wait to put this on YouTube. Shout out to all of our YouTube family as well, who continuously watch Brother Musa, Brother Kente, Sister Auntie, and everyone else who continues to show love to the People's Podcast, including Brother James. Brother James, so before we went live, you said that you had, watched the People's Podcast before.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Could you let us know about, how did you get to watch the People's Podcast?
I'm a YouTuber, and in the quarantine, when we were really in the lockdown, the first couple of months, I just happened to see you interviewing one of the other believers, and I just stopped and started listening, and I got hooked. It helped me get through the quarantine. I would like binge watch you.
Praise be to Allah, Brother James.
I watched at least 2 or 3 of your interviews every day, and by the end of the day, I said, okay, that would be my fix to help. It's unique to hear. Everybody has an origin story. It's just wonderful to hear how all of us came to the teachings. It's unique, but it's also we have many parallels as well. And so I feel that every one of us has a story to tell. If you ask the brother on Backdoor Post, he would have a fascinating story to tell.
That's right. That's right.
And so, and it makes me bring to mind something Brother Jabril, the great companion of the minister, and he came into DC back in January 2000. He told us at 1615,
yes, sir,
Master Father Muhammad has handpicked every one of us. So, and your podcast bears witness to that. When you interview all the various believers that you interview, it just bear witness. All of our stories are important. So that's how I can. I just was checking YouTube, and I just got hooked when I first saw you interviewing everybody, and just to hear everybody's story. That helped feed me during the when we was really in the lockdown.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Well, Brother James, what advice would you give, because you were a college student with a college mosque, soldiering, security, all this, but you still were pushing. What advice would you give to college students now about the importance of education and how it can help build the nation?
Well, we're so blessed now because the minister has set up the 9 ministries. Whatever gift, skill, or talent you have, as the minister said, he set up the ministry so that whatever your talent is, you can find your place in that ministry. So study, get that degree, get that education with the mind to help your nation grow. So whatever ministry fits your particular gift, skill, or talent, find a way to help out in that ministry and put flesh on the bones. The minister gave us the basic skeleton of it, but it's up to us to make it flesh.
Go ahead,
that's what I would say.
Yes, sir. Brother James, you don't teach a study group, nothing like you.
I always take part in study group. Friday night study group. I love Friday night study group. Whenever I'm having a tough time soldiering on a Friday, I can go to study group and get my spirit lifted up. So I'm always taking part in study group. I love study group. So yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. You just remind me so much of a minister. Like somebody said, Minister of the Nation of Islam, Brother James, you sound like a minister. Praise be to Allah. Here we go. Boom. My next question for you, sir, is the Secretary Department. What advice would you have to those who would like to go into the Secretary Department? What can we look forward to in the Secretary Department, and what is the importance of the Secretary Department?
Well, it's important to be trustworthy. It's important to the way it happened with me. I did not seek it, but I was somebody observed me being someone who could be trusted with the people's information and with the people's money. That's very sensitive. So first of all, we have to be trustworthy, and we have to strive to make our word bond. You gotta be willing to be there before the doors open, and you gotta be there before it starts, and you gotta be there after everything is over. I like to not just be on time, I like to be early. I strive to be an original man. To be original means you first. Colored people are late, so I strive to practice not being a colored man. So I strive to be early. You gotta be willing to be early and stay late to make sure the business is handled like it should be handled. And be willing to accept checks and balances, because you're handling Black people's information, you're handling Black people's money, and we don't want to give the enemy any cause for suspicion. So we should always be willing to submit the checks and balances, make sure you're trustworthy, make sure, just be a brother first. That's what I get more mileage just being Brother James than think I'm Brother James that happens to work in the Secretary Department. That's how I see it. I'm Brother James. That's the best title. I heard the minister say the best title is brother. That's what I strive to be first. So that's what I would say.
Yes, sir. And Brother James, you spoke about your love for conscious hip hop.
Yes,
so we have the question we ask all of our guests. What is your favorite album of all time, sir?
It takes a nation of millions to hold us back. Public Enemy.
That has been the number one response from everybody. That's been the most consistent.
Yes,
we
sir.
get a few more Hills in there or something, you know what I'm saying? But Public Enemy seems to be, It Takes a Nation of Millions seems to be the most, some Nas, but the majority of It Takes a Nation of Millions to hold us back. Why that album, sir?
Because they play up, they sample the minister. They say Farrakhan's a prophet you need to listen to. Follow up Farrakhan. Don't say you understand till you hear the man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I've always loved Public Enemy. Takes a nation of millions to hold us back. And Welcome to the Terror Dome. Fight the power. Shut them down.
Yes, sir.
All of that. Yes, sir.
Great. And what it's showing, for those who want to see the interviews where he spoke with Brother Najim, you can go back and watch that interview. Brother Daryl, the DI, Joe West, we got that in the People's Podcast, as well as Chuck D of Public Enemy, the S1W of Public Enemy, and Professor Griff. You all want to go back and watch some of the interviews that we've been blessed to have on the People's Podcast. Brother James, what would you like your legacy to be, sir?
Well, there's a verse in the Quran, Surah 36, verse 65. It says, I'm paraphrasing, that on the day of judgment, we will not speak, but our hands and our feet will speak. And I take that to mean that you're not going to have little lips forming the palm of your hand or on the soles of your feet, but whatever work that I have done with my hands and whatever way I've lived my life and walking the walk will speak for me. So I pray Allah that my legacy will be, if I can be, I would be presumptuous, that I strove to be persistent and consistent in helping the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and helping our people. We are the chosen people of God. I just want to be part of that bloodstream of Islam, help keep the blood circulating so we can keep the body alive, help our people to get in where I fit in. I want to be able to say, I get in where I fit in, and I did what I could with the time that I have, and all praise is due to Allah. In the person of Master Father Muhammad, and all praise is due to Allah for raising the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and of course, their man in our midst, the Messiah, the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Go ahead, Brother James. Man, I'm telling you, this is powerful teacher, sir.
Praise be to Allah.
You represented the teachers very beautiful, sir.
Allahu Akbar.
And also, the student regional minister Abdul Qadir, who I've had the honor of interviewing twice. Man, I gotta make a call and say, brother, we gotta get Brother James to speak. Bro, I'm saying, I gotta get him open up or something. You can teach, Brother James. I'm impressed. You can teach today. I got the spirit from you, sir. I felt the spirit. Sister Colleen is showing love. Thank you, everyone who's watching all across the country. I look forward to putting this on YouTube this evening, inshallah. Brother James, I look forward to meeting you soon.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You've been a wonderful guest. Powerful information.
Praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you all for watching.
Alaikum salam, sir.